In this series,
Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again. So this is how we end up. The game is set to play. Every day remains the same now. One decision we obey. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again. Just drive. Just
so dense.
Just drive.
Morning. It's been a while. This time I'm on the west coast of America and I'm starting in California. And I thought if I'm going to start in California, I may as well start in one of their most beautiful places, Yosemite Valley. The plan, I'm going to head north and check out one of a series of trails that are called the BDR, or Backroad Discovery Routes. The first one I'm going to have a look at is the Northern California one. If I'm having a lot of fun on it, I'm going to continue on to the Oregon BDR. From there, I'm not quite sure. I might continue on north to Washington or then head to the coast and back south. I haven't been on a journey for a while as I couldn't find a bike to borrow anywhere. So I came up with plan B, which was to buy a second-hand bike. Just before I got on the plane, I saw an ad for a Royal Enfield Himalayan 411 in Hollywood actually, but by the time I landed, it had already sold. But then I saw a second-hand Himalayan 450, so I decided to grab that. To get you up to speed on how I got to Yosemite, this is what happened. I'd flown into LA, then jumped on a train north to a place called Goleta, just north of Santa Barbara. But just before I got there, the train stopped for over 3 hours. Apparently, the word that went through the train was it had collided with a person. Eventually, after a very long Uber ride, and a lot later in the day than I'd expected, I got to Wheels in Motion Motorsports, who helped out massively with the paperwork of buying a bike in a foreign country. I got on the road 6 hours later than expected. I had wanted to get to a place called Fish Camp, just outside Yosemite Valley. That definitely wasn't going to happen. So I thought I'd ride as far as I could while there was still daylight. Well, after the train issues, dealing with insurance and just trying to pack everything on the bike and getting away late, I did call it to get to the campsite as a friend had always been saying, drink lots of water, eat, and be safe. I hadn't drunk all day, I hadn't eaten anything all day, and well, riding at night is not the safest thing when there's animals around. So I thought it was best to pull over, and I found this state park in Pismo Beach, but there's no one at the entry gate. Then the ranger came and they actually said, oh, there's one spot left. I'm going to start tomorrow fresh. Oh, and I lost my hat. Within an hour of riding, I lost my hat. So I'm going to have to stop somewhere and find another one for tomorrow. Morning. The fly net's on because there are so many mozzies out here. They're like plague. Alright, packing up to get on the road to try and catch up to where I'd like to have been yesterday. Didn't even get my tent set up properly last night. Just got in. These mozzies came on, I guess, on dusk and obviously on sunrise as well. I left the small coastal town of Pismo Beach. I started making my way east towards the Sierra Nevada mountain range. I was crossing the Central Valley, which is known for its agricultural productivity. It's where a large share of the food is produced in California. It provides more than half the fruit, vegetables and nuts grown in the United States. I had made it to Fresno. I just needed to make a quick stop to pick one thing up. Back on the road, and it wasn't long before the sparse landscape started to fill with pine trees. The closer I got, the thicker the forest. I continued winding my way up the mountain road, getting the occasional glimpse into the valley below. So I made it to the valley. Just a quick stop here. It's not the main stop to look from, but it's pretty nice anyway. It probably gets better. It's not hard to tell this is the main lookout, with the amount of people here. You can see why it's one of the most visited national parks in the country, with over 4 million people exploring it each year. There in front of me was El Capitan, and on the east side, the Dawn Wall, one of the hardest free climbs in the world. This is the Merced River, which runs through the centre of the valley. I spent a lot of time looking up, as there were massive walls on either side. I made it to one of several campgrounds in the valley.
You have your ID on you. You're going to be at Site 13. Just make sure all food-scented products are in the bear locker.
They are normally fully booked, but a mate said that people have to 6 p.m. the day before to cancel their bookings. So if you get on the booking site a bit before 6 p.m. and keep hitting refresh, you might snag a spot, which is what I did. First thing was to set up the tent. Then I went for a bit of a wander and was surprised how it was still possible to get areas all to myself. The Yosemite Valley was created from rivers and glaciers over millions of years, followed by long-term inhabitants, the Awanitchi people. Half Dome, an iconic rock wall standing at 2,696 metres, towered above the campsite, one of the most famous rock faces to climb in the world. But you can also hike to the summit, which takes between 10 and 12 hours. I wasn't going to be doing that, and you have to enter a lottery to get a permit to hike it as well. Not on my agenda on this journey. It's been a great first day coming into Yosemite National Park, and it's coming on sunset. I'm going to try and get, one shot of Half Dome as the sunlight hits it right in. I don't know, it might be taken out by a cloud. Didn't quite light up as it can. That whole wall can turn into a fire red. Maybe got a little slither of sun on it. Anyway, it is incredibly stunning. Pretty peaceful and chilled around here, even though there are quite a lot of people. Back to camp. European Americans settled the valley in the mid-1800s. These early explorers, seeing its sheer beauty, led the first federally protected lands in 1864, paving the way for the national park system. John Muir and others successfully campaigned for the protection of the entire area, leading to the establishment of the Yosemite National Park in 1890. Now that you've all caught up, I'm going to explore a bit more of Yosemite Valley, and the light has just started hitting the mountains. Two things I had to constantly remind myself of was ride on the right hand side of the road, and the speed signs are in miles, not kilometres. I've just been pulling over into different little sections. Early, there's not a lot of traffic at all. When I came in it was quite busy, but there's not a lot around. This place is magical. It's got this really soft flight. As in, when I was riding into Milford Sounds in New Zealand, it's quite rugged, but this is just, I don't know if it's all the greenery as well, although it was green there. I don't know, it might be the white in the mountains, or that it's really early. It is stunning. Definitely worth coming, even with a little bit of crowd. Well, a lot of crowd. Riding along these tree-lined roads was magical. Then, as I came into the clearing, more stunning rock walls would appear. I walked over to the woods to the left. Spotted something. How is this? I've seen beautiful reflections before, but this one was next level. I continued out of the valley, then started to climb towards the east. Through tunnels with more valleys below. These light-coloured rocky surfaces and boulders are very typical of this area. Imagine this lake and its surroundings in the winter, all covered in snow. I had gained a lot of elevation and was starting to feel the cold. That's definitely a sign the temperature has dropped when there's snow on the ground. I had made it over Tioga Pass, at an elevation of 9,945 feet or 3,031 meters, it is California's highest mountain pass. No surprise then that this road is closed during the winter months due to the heavy snowfall. I had made it to Mammoth Lakes, which is one of California's most famous ski mountain towns. I pulled over, firstly to get some supplies, then to work out where this route, the Northern Californian BDR, started. Once I sorted all that out, I headed to the starting point of the route. I rode the first few kilometres up the mountain, past the main ski area, which was packed with mountain bikers enjoying the trails at the end of the season. Then it was only a short distance to the start point, which had a great view over this section of the Sierra Nevada mountains. I set off back down the road. Now the route has some short offshoots that you can try. Well, only a few miles or kilometres down the road is the first, I guess they're calling it expert or advanced tracks. It looks about 5 kilometres long, so I guess it's best to test out here to see where I am on their scale, because if I can't get through here, then I'll bail on the rest of them. If I can, well, I'll try a lot of the others. Only one way to find out. This was made up of loose gravel. As always, the hills are a lot steeper than they look, and not having been on dirt for a while, I was going to ease my way into this. The track was quite lumpy to start with. It looked like they were logging here, and I missed the first turn. I normally don't follow a route, so it's going to take me some time getting used to having to check the map consistently, so I don't miss a turn like that. The track I was supposed to follow was closed due to the logging, so I'll have to find my own way out of here. There were a few really soft sections. I made it back to the route around the closed section of the track. Seeing I haven't ridden a bike since Africa, I am very rusty, and that felt it. Even though starting off with a quite steep downhill with loose gravel, good start, but went through just really cruisy just to make it, so I should, well, be able to make a few more of those more advanced routes. I might spend a bit of time on the dirt though, just to get the feel of the bike again. I had body position out just about every corner. Anyway, looks like it's onto a fire road now, or dirt gravel road, so should be a bit easier. That'll help. There is some big black clouds, like thunder clouds rather than the rain here, so I'm going to move my rain gear to the top just in case I get sprung by one. As when I came in, you could see on the road there'd been snow, but only in certain pockets. So yeah, was a lot of fun though, just getting used to it. And how these forests started out really well. seemed to have ridden right under that thick rain cloud. So it was time to get the rain gear on. As I was getting the gear on, it started hailing. As quickly as the rain had started, it had gone. What followed was a lot of fast flowing track, which ended up at a campground, then back out onto the main road. But before long, I was back on another track. I rode through the next section of forest until I came to one of those alternative harder routes. Again, I thought it best to try some of these early ones so I didn't get myself into trouble later, biting off more than I could chew. This one didn't seem that bad at all, until I noticed the surface getting a lot sandier. I don't have a lot of experience in sand, only a few times, well, besides Africa, so I was still cautious. But it was manageable at my skill level. Back onto the sealed road, it headed down to a lake. There were some rock formations at the edge of the lake, so I went to check them out. Pulled over as there's some unique, rock formations on the edge of this lake. These rock formations are formed by calcium-rich springs bubbling up from beneath the lake. The calcium bonds to the carbonate in the water, creating calcium carbonate, a type of limestone. This solid material builds on top of itself. These gradually form a tufa tower. This all happens at the bottom of the lake. When the lake water level drops, it reveals these rocky formations. I left the lake, passing more towers further on. It looked like there was a fair chance I'd be getting wet tonight. It's getting on to about 5 in the evening and I saw a visitor centre just here, so I thought I'd go and ask this really nice old lady there that said there's camping further up, a place called Twin Lakes. You can disperse camping, I think they call it, so it's like free camping. You can just pull over and camp. So I think it's 45 minutes or maybe a little more, so otherwise there's a town walk a bit further on, so I think I might just head there for this evening. I started at, I was up before 6, so it's 11 hours, another hour, make it 12. It's been a pretty fun day. I rode on to one more dirt section of track. The road was heading to an old gold mine ghost town, but it was late in the day and it was closed. Also, it was in the opposite direction of where I'd been told there was camping, so I decided to miss it and head for the campsite. Another quick rain shower, which I put my rain gear on for. I rode through the small town of Bridgeport. I came across the first campsite. It didn't seem to be dispersed camping. There was no one there to ask anyway, so I kept looking further down the road. This was not the dispersed camping the lady had mentioned at the information centre, but it would do. Well, that ended up a long day. It's after 6 p.m. now. It does look like I'm probably going to get wet tonight, but that's okay. These are campsites I can use by what it was written there. I've just got to go back and sort that out in a sec to see exactly how to do it, but I'm going to set up tent first just in case the rain starts and it's all done. Looks like it's about to start raining. I'll get on with this. It was a hurried job, but it got set up. It is, I wouldn't say it's raining, it's spitting, but everything's getting wet. But I just found something around the corner. I could hear it. Nice little stream. It's been an eventful day, and I guess that's what you want. I might wait a bit longer to do anything else. Looks like there's a bit of rain coming. I waited for the rain to stop, then went out to sort out the camping fee. So I'd run out of cash, and they only take cash at the campsite, so I've had to quickly get over to the Shell fuel station. It's just on dark. I'm just going to ride back and basically climb into the tent in the dark. What a day that turned out to be. Got to start in Yosemite National Park. Amazing. Absolutely just breathtaking, that place. I've got to see snow. Got very cold coming over the pass. And the trails, so much fun. I just love riding through pine forest like that on dirt tracks. They're just a couple of sandy sections, not my forte, so I was a bit tentative. Yeah, I was a bit out of it at the beginning. I was just a bit all over the shop, body weight everywhere wrong. But we'll get there, more practice, I'll get more comfortable again. It's been a while. I did make it back from the Shell gas station in one piece. Just try to avoid riding at night in areas like this where there's wildlife, and I think I saw some farm animals as well. The lady at the information centre said, don't ride around here. I think there's a highway 365. She said there's some really big deer. But I guess there was a tiny bit of... No, there wasn't. It was pitch black. Anyway, we will see what happens tomorrow.
Oh, my love.
In the next episode, I find some fun tracks through the forest, which start to get a lot more technical. I ride past a moonscape terrain, I step off the bike, and have some very yummy pizza.
Don't worry about the